Welcome to Wrestler of the Week, week number 3. Pretty much works like this. If you are a professional wrestler and you made the most impact on the industry within the last 7 days, you will be named, in my opinion, the Wrestler of the Week. Every week, I will choose 10 male and female competitors, and they will be ranked on a point system. At the end of the year, whoever has the most points will be named the male and female Wrestler of the Year. If you want to see what criteria I use for Wrestler of the Week, be sure to check out my week 1 video. Holy shit! There was a lot of wrestling this week. There was almost too much wrestling. I was almost overwhelmed. I watched in some capacity 17 different wrestling shows this week alone, and that includes all of the weekly wrestling TV shows and all of the pay-per-view events. A lot of wrestlers did damage this week, so let's just get into it. First off, we start with the women and some honorable mentions. We have a group of women that all moved on in the Ring of Honor television tournament. Taya Valkyrie, Red Velvet, Abaddon, and Billy Starks, who all won their qualifying matches. Toni Storm and Deonna Purrazzo from AEW continues to develop their clash towards AEW Revolution, both winning singles matches on AEW Dynamite. Nia Jax had a dominant week before ultimately losing at Elimination Chamber, and honestly, I think it was actually the best match she ever had with Rhea Ripley. Bayley and Dakota Kai on SmackDown are developing the Damage Control storyline well, and more people actually need to be talking about Bayley. She is the 2024 Royal Rumble winner. More respect needs to be put on her name and Io Sky as the women's champion. I hope there is a lot more focus and attention added to this story between Bayley, Dakota Kai, and the rest of Damage Control. Raquel Rodriguez made a big return on Raw, dominated the Battle Royal to qualify the Elimination Chamber, and had a good showing at the Chamber event itself. And finally, we have Mei Seira from Stardom defeating Waka Tsukiyama to retain the High Speed Championship. Now, the top 10 female wrestlers of the week. We have a 3-way tie to start the top 10 with 3 women's tag team champions. First, the Kabuki Warriors retained their WWE Women's Tag titles against Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae at Elimination Chamber. We also have MK Ultra defeating Decay on Friday night's TNA No Surrender to win the Knockouts Tag titles. And finally, we have the team of Wayne Gory, Hanan, and Seiya Ida of Stardom retaining their New Blood Tag Team titles at Stardom at Korakuen Hall. At number 9, we have Dani Luna from Revolution Pro, who defeated Sapphire Reed to retain the Revolution Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship at Revolution Pro High Stakes 2024 in a very, very good match, and continues the momentum she gained from first winning the title at Uprising 2023. At number 8 is Athena from Ring of Honor, who won a wild and fun 2 out of 3 Falls Tables match against Nyla Rose on Ring of Honor TV to retain her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. It will be interesting to see who steps up to Athena, as she has pretty much dominated the division. It's Tiffy time, bitches! At number 7 is Tiffany Stratton, who had a major week. First, she won a match against Liv Morgan on SmackDown, gaining momentum for her into the Elimination Chamber, then had a star-making performance at the Elimination Chamber itself, and was super over with the Perth crowd all weekend long. WWE has a gold mine with Tiffany Stratton, and I believe She is a cornerstone of the future of WWE. Speaking of cornerstones for the future of WWE, at number 6 we have NXT Women's Champ Lyra Valkyria, and this is for a couple of reasons. On a storyline level, she had a grueling match against Shotzi before Shotzi's unfortunate knee injury that stopped the match, and then Valkyria had to face and defeat a fresh Lash legend. But on a personal level, being able to work with Ava and Lash, who also should be commended for being able to work on the fly, will put some more major eyeballs on her as Lyra Valkyria continues to rise in NXT. At number 5, we have IWGP Women's Champ Mayu Iwatani, who retained her title at New Japan's New Beginning at Sapporo. She is nearing the 1-year mark of her title reign, the first for this championship, and she is doing a great job of representing the company. Now, if we can get some more women in the mix, that would be great. At number 4 is Stardom Strong Women's Champ Julia, who continues her dominant reign by defeating Natsuko Tora in a no DQ match to retain her title. Julia is nearing 250 days into her first reign, and it doesn't look like she will be slowing down anytime soon, as also talks about where she may end up after her Stardom run is over is still being whispered over the interwebs. At number 3 is Jordan Grace, the current TNA Knockouts champ, who won a hard-fought match against a game Giselle Shaw to retain the Knockouts title at TNA No Surrender. Grace is dominating the knockout scene at TNA, and honestly, she is starting to develop such an aura around her that I am having a hard time thinking of who could possibly take her down. At number 2 is Rhea Ripley, who successfully defended her Women's World Championship against a dangerous Nia Jax to retain the title at Elimination Chamber. She is going to WrestleMania to defend. And who will she be defending against? Rhea Ripley will be defending against the Women's Wrestler of the Week for week number 3, Becky Lynch, who won the Women's Chamber match, and now all those dreamy face-offs between Becky and Rhea are no longer teases as we get the full course of a potential banger of a match at WrestleMania. But Becky Lynch is your female wrestler of the week. And now on to the men and some honorable mentions. The Final Testament were very heavily involved in SmackDown. First, the Authors of Pain would defeat the Street Profits as chaos between Lashley and Karrion Kross broke out at ringside. Kross took out Lashley's shoulder, which led to Lashley's elimination at Elimination Chamber. But after beating the Profits, Kross cut a really good promo, and hopefully we see more of this. Ethan Page on Ring of Honor television defeated Anthony Henry and also cut a very good promo for the television title that he is gunning for, and he is building momentum towards that goal. Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage won a great 6-man main event on Dynamite against Hangman Adam Page, RVD, and Hook, leading into AEW Revolution. Wardlow from AEW cut a fiery promo, one that was needed to make sure that he isn't forgotten. He had a great Triple H Batista vibe between him and MJF, and after that feud, it was like AEW forgot he existed and then just remembered he was around about a month or so ago. Hopefully, this is the start of a true sustained push back to the main event. ABC from TNA defeated the Grizzled Young Vets to retain their tag titles at TNA No Surrender. Chad Gable defeated Ivar Monday Night Raw, and I am only mentioning this because it feels like Chad Gable is being built back up, perhaps to gun for Gunther once more for the Intercontinental title. Sting, Darby Allin, and the Young Bucks are in the middle of a feud that is being built by some really great promos and action. If you haven't checked out the latest promo between Sting and Darby Allin from this past week's Dynamite, I suggest you find it now. Good stuff all around, and I am excited and intrigued for Sting's last match. Zack Sabre Jr. continues to have a dominating year. First defeating Connor Mills in an unbelievably great match, then defeating Yuji Nagata at New Beginning at Sapporo. Zack Sabre Jr. has gone on record that he wants to be one of the cornerstones for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I can see him definitely taking up that mantle. Evil also retained the Never Openweight Championship at New Beginning in Sapporo. Daniel Garcia and Christian had a great promo battle. After Daniel Garcia was named the #1 contender for Christian's TNT title, the two had a great back and forth, with Christian bringing up dead fathers again. This dude is a supervillain. And now, the top 10 wrestlers of the week for the men. At number 10 is Eric Young of TNA, who defeated Frankie Kazarian in a heated #1 contenders match. But he also had the job of cutting a passionate pre-show speech for the fans in support of TNA in the new direction it seems like they are heading into after Scott D'Amore's shocking departure from the company. It was a sincere statement that was needed, and Eric Young, as one of TNA's mainstays, was a perfect voice to address the crowd. At number 9 is Braun Breaker, who made the biggest impression with the least amount of time with a delicious squash match on SmackDown, and he is already starting to get over with the main roster crowd. This guy is gonna be special. At number 8, we have Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day, the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions who had a busy week. First winning a massive 8-man tag match on Monday Night Raw, then successfully defending the tag titles in a very good match against New Catch Republic at Elimination Chamber. It looks like Judgment Day may be on a collision course with Awesome Truth at WrestleMania. We have a tie at number 7 between Gunther and Oba Femi, who defended their Intercontinental and North American titles successfully on Raw and NXT television this week. At number 6, we have Orange Cassidy, who continues to just have one of the most insane wrestling schedules. First, he retained his AEW International title at Revolution Pro High Stakes 2024 against like 40 people, but then he would defeat Mike Bennett in a good match on Dynamite. Orange Cassidy's second run with the international title seems like he's just gonna keep rocking until the wheels fall off. The question is, who will be the one to take advantage when that inevitably happens? At number 5 is TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose, whose faction, The System, won a major main event 6-man tag on TNA Impact earlier in the week, then on the next night defeated Alex Shelley to retain the TNA World title, going 2-0 against Shelley, and Moose's stranglehold on the TNA World title will continue as long as the System reigns. We have a crazy 3-way tie for 4th place, and they are all new champions crowned at New Japan's New Beginning in Sapporo. First, Matt Riddle may have scored the biggest win of his career, defeating the legendary Hiroshi Tanahashi for the New Japan World TV Championship. Then we got Sho defeating El Desperado via heelish and cowardly means to steal the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Then finally, Nick Nemeth defeated David Finlay to win the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. These are all major title changes, and they certainly point a new shift in the direction that Tanahashi, New Japan's new president, wants the company to take. If we didn't have a match of the year contender and a big Elimination Chamber match, this week might have belonged to the number 3 entry, Mustafa Ali, who had a fire week. First off, all the promos that Ali has been cutting this week were tremendous, and TNA especially did an amazing job of building up Mustafa Ali before he even had his first match with the company. Earlier in the week, Ali would defeat Ronnie X at Revolution Pro High Stakes. Then on Friday night, he would win the X Division title from a game Chris Sabin at TNA No Surrender in a banger of a match. Now that Ali has some gold, let's see what he plans to do with it. We have a tie at number 2, and it is for both Michael Oku and Will Ospreay, who engaged in a legit Match of the Year contender at Revolution Pro High Stakes. The two battled it out and left it all in the ring, but in the end, Oku got the biggest win of his career by getting Ospreay to tap out and retain the Revolution Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight Championship. This was a banger and a hell of a way for Ospreay to say goodbye to the UK as he makes AEW his full-time home. But if you haven't checked out this match, find it now. And at number 1, the male wrestler of the week is none other than Drew McIntyre, who had a monster week. First, his promos are still amazing. Calling himself the savior of WrestleMania is such brilliant, heelish delusion. But on Monday Night Raw, Drew won a big match, handing Cody Rhodes his first pinfall loss since last year. Then, just at Elimination Chamber, he would punch his ticket to WrestleMania by beating 5 others in the men's chamber match, where he will now go face-to-face with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. I think a good chunk of us saw this coming, but it is the right move, as Drew McIntyre has been on fuego lately and deserves a big WrestleMania payday for his work. This week sees Drew McIntyre as the male wrestler of the week for week number 3. And here are the standings for the men and women after week 3. And that is it for week number 3 of Wrestler of the Week. Like I said, there was a lot going on, but honestly, this is where I kind of believe we are in a bit of a wrestling boom. There is so much wrestling out there, so many promotions globally, male and female. It's just amazing and tremendous, and I am loving every single moment of it. Do you agree with my rankings for Wrestler of the Week? Share your thoughts, leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you can get notifications as well. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take care.